That afternoon the sunlight was warm and lazy, casting long shadows across the living room floor. I was sprawled on the couch, lost in a video game, when my sister Sarah walked in. She looked a little flustered, her usual calm demeanor replaced by a nervous energy I hadn't seen in a while. "Hey, can you do me a huge favor?" she asked, her voice a little shaky. I paused the game. "Sure, what's up?" I figured she needed help with her car again, or maybe a hand moving some heavy furniture. "I need you to pretend to be my boyfriend," she blurted out. I almost dropped my controller. "You need me to what? Why?" She explained that her ex-boyfriend, Mark, had been bothering her non-stop since their breakup. He wasn't taking no for an answer, showing up at her work, flooding her phone with texts. She had a plan, though. A mutual friend's party was happening that weekend, and she knew Mark would be there. If he saw her with a new boyfriend, she hoped he would finally get the message and leave her alone. It sounded a bit dramatic, like something out of a movie, but I could see the genuine distress in her eyes. Mark had always been a bit intense. "Okay," I said, sighing. "Okay, I'll do it for you." Relief washed over her face. "Thank you. You're the best brother ever." The next few days were a blur of boyfriend training. Sarah was surprisingly methodical about it. She coached me on their inside jokes, their favorite restaurants, even the story of how they met. It was also absurd, practicing holding hands and coming up with pet names. We settled on Babe, which made us both cringe and laugh every time we said it. By the time Saturday night rolled around, I felt like I was an actor preparing for a lead role. I put on a nice shirt she'd picked out for me, and she wore a stunning blue dress. Looking at her, I felt a surge of protectiveness. No one deserved to be harassed like that, especially not my sister. We arrived at the party, and the music was already thumping. Sarah's hand found mine, her grip surprisingly tight. "Ready?" she whispered. I squeezed her hand back. "Ready." We walked in. A united front. It didn't take long to spot Mark. He was leaning against a wall, a sour look on his face, scanning the crowd.
His eyes landed on us, and his expression darkened.
He started moving towards us, and my heart began to pound. This was it. The performance was about to begin. Sarah's plan had to work. Mark swaggered over, a fake smile plastered on his face. "Sarah, I didn't know you were coming." His eyes flickered down to our joined hands. "And who's this?" Before I could even open my mouth, Sarah jumped in, her voice smooth as silk. "Mark, this is Alex, my boyfriend." She smiled up at me, a brilliant, dazzling smile that looked so real it almost fooled me. I played my part, wrapping my arm around her waist. "Nice to meet you," I said, keeping my tone level. Mark's eyes narrowed.
He was trying to size me up, looking for a crack in our story.
He spent the next 20 minutes hovering, asking intrusive questions, trying to catch us in a lie. But Sarah was brilliant. She had an answer for everything, weaving the fabricated details of our relationship so flawlessly that even I started to believe them. Finally, looking defeated, Mark muttered a quick goodbye and retreated to the other side of the room. We watched him go, and Sarah let out a breath she seemed to have been holding all night. "I think it worked," she whispered, a genuine smile finally reaching her eyes. We stayed for another hour, actually enjoying ourselves now that the tension was gone. We danced, we laughed with friends, and for a little while, it didn't feel like we were pretending at all. It just felt nice. Driving home, the car was quiet but comfortable. "Thank you, really," Sarah said, breaking the silence. "You were amazing." I just shrugged. "Anything from my sister." Back at our apartment, I was ready to crash. I kicked off my shoes and headed for my room.
"Hey," Sarah called out from the living room. "Can we talk for a minute?" I turned around.
She was standing by the window, looking out at the city lights. I walked back and leaned against the doorframe. "Sure, what's up?" "Is Mark texting you again?" She shook her head. "No, it's not about Mark." She took a deep breath, and that nervous energy from a few days ago was back. "That thing tonight. At the party." It didn't feel like pretending to me. My mind went blank. I couldn't process what she was saying. "What do you mean?" She turned away from the window to face me. "When we were dancing, when you had your arm around me, it just felt right. More right than anything ever felt with Mark." My heart was hammering against my ribs. This was not a conversation I was prepared for. "Sarah, we're brother and sister." My voice came out as a strained whisper. I know, she said, her own voice trembling slightly. I know it's crazy and complicated. I've been trying to ignore it, trying to push it down, but I can't, especially not after tonight. She took a step closer, her eyes searching mine. I think I'm in love with you. The words hung in the air between us, heavy and impossible. I was completely stunned, unable to move or speak. My mind was racing, replaying every moment from the past week, searching for signs I might have missed. Had I been blind? Or had I just refused to see what was right in front of me? All I knew was that the simple favor I'd agreed to had just spiraled into something far more complex and terrifying than I could have ever imagined. The line between brother and fake boyfriend had been blurred, and now it seemed to have vanished entirely. I finally found my voice. Sarah, you're my sister. My little sister. I love you, of course I do, but not like that. It's not possible. She looked crestfallen, tears welling up in her eyes. But why not? We get along better than anyone. We understand each other. Isn't that what love is? She was grasping at straws, her logic tangled up in a web of confusing emotions. I knew I had to be the strong one here, the rational one. It's different, Sarah. The love between a brother and sister is a different kind of bond. It's precious, and it's something we can't cross. What you're feeling, it's probably just confusion. You just got out of a bad relationship, and I was there to help. You're mixing up gratitude with something else. She shook her head stubbornly. No, it's not that. It's more, but I could see a flicker of doubt in her eyes. I gently took her hands. Look, we just went through something intense. Let's not make any crazy decisions right now. We're family. That's the most important thing, right? Let's just let things cool down. Let's go back to being us. Just brother and sister. She looked down at our hands, then back up at my face. After a long moment, she slowly nodded, wiping a tear from her cheek. Okay, she whispered. Okay, the crisis was averted for now. But as I went to my room and closed the door, I knew that things would never be quite the same between us again. A door had been opened tonight, and I wasn't sure if we could ever truly close it. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, be sure to like and subscribe for more.